Yo, Diggity Dogs, it's me, AJ Beast. Welcome back to another video, and welcome to the weekly uploading series that I like to call Wrestling with Beasts. Weekly series, once again, like I said, about the ongoings in WWE mainly. I would like to talk about AAA at some point, but I still am not very comfortable talking about AAA just because I'm trying to figure it out, you know? But anyways, if you like this video today, I highly recommend that you subscribe and leave a like on this and click the bell because, you know, very sporadic on my post, but I try to stay consistent. I will be honest. And yeah, let's get on to talking about wrestling, guys. Let's begin. What are we talking about today? Let's talk about Enzo and Cass might come back. Dash pretty big. Apparently Enzo, I think it was just Enzo, was spotted at the Performance Center, I believe, at some point. Now, if you know what happened to him, there was a lawsuit, I think, I think someone, I don't know if it was the Me Too movement, but I think there was some type of allegations on him, and he got fired from WWE, not because of the allegations specifically, but because of him not revealing this information to WWE that he was in a lawsuit in a situation like that. So him not specifying and letting WWE know about it, that was what got him fired. And then later on, the charges were dropped, I think. I don't know. I don't want to word it wrong, but I think they were dropped. In any case, Enzo is innocent, from what we know. So, ultimately, there was a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, mainly because, unfortunately, there was a lot of people who still didn't really know what happened with Enzo. They don't know that, he technically was where the case went. And that's why throwing those allegations out there like that is terrible, because ultimately you're ruining someone's life no matter what the outcome of it is at the end of the day. Throwing certain suspicions like that out there kind of paints people in a light of that's just who they are to the public that isn't paying attention. You see stuff like that with Michael Jackson, and people still thinking today that he bleached his skin, and certain things that he didn't do. People still believe that he did do it, even though it has been proven with evidence that legally he's done absolutely nothing wrong. But I digress. Anyways, but I think he was at NXT taping or something like that. I think so. If NXT is where he comes back, him and Big Cass, I would be very interested. I'm pretty sure Big Cass was there. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember the report talking about both of them. So I would honestly love to see them in NXT, because main roster tag team division's not doing much, and the NXT tag team, there's stuff for them to do there in NXT. Like, one, they never won the tag team titles of any brand, but most importantly NXT, where they got their start. And I think it'd be really cool to see them have a NXT tag team title reign together, if Enzo Amore is a better locker room person than he was before. That's ultimately what it boils down to, is how is he now as a person, and as attitude wise. But seems pretty hopeful that he could end up back in WWE, which I'd be very excited about, because like I said, I love Enzo Amore. I know that once he split up with Big Cass, there was a bit more issues surrounding him backstage. I think even Roman Reigns kicking him off a bus at one point. So, yeah, very problematic, but hopefully if he came back, he would be not as problematic. I mean, we've seen people who are problematic fix it up in time. Time heals all wounds, and honestly, I hope that is the case. But anyways, that is the situation with Enzo. He might come back. I'd really like to see that because he was really talented, and I would love to see it. As you guys have probably heard by now, Logan Paul has an injury and will be out for a considerable amount of time. And I think this is setting up like the full like actual curse of the Vision. Like the Vision is actually cursed because not only has everyone gotten injured since the fake injury, which I still think was kind of real. I don't want to speculate too much, but I feel like that situation was not as black and white as he was injured or he wasn't injured. I think it was in the moment he might have gotten hurt and then later on found out that it was something that wasn't bad. So the time off was still to heal, just not a severe injury that we thought it was. But in any case, bamboozlery is bamboozlery. And that is what Rollins did. And I think the wrestling gods have not been very kind to him since, or the Vision for that matter. Because Seth, the man who made the Vision, or began it all, got injured first. Braun Breaker, the second person to join, well, first person to join Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker, the second person that joined Rollins, but the third member of the Vision. And now Logan Paul, who is the fourth person in the Vision. And Austin Theory is the only one who hasn't been injured. So fingers crossed that does not happen because I love Austin Theory. I love all of the Vision members, and I hope that all of them are healthy and well. And really, like, the fact that not only has every member gotten injured, but every member in the exact order that the exact order of which they were brought in, like Seth, Braun Breaker, and Seth, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul. So ultimately, it also sucks mainly for Joe Hendry because Joe Hendry's main thing on the main roster right now was a rivalry with Logan Paul. And now they can't continue that. So I think Theory's actions on Raw kind of help write off potentially Joe Hendry until they figure out something to do with him. And hopefully it will be good. Let's talk about the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament because I'm very excited for it. I hope that they don't show the brackets. I'm gonna be honest. It'd be really cool if they didn't show brackets and they didn't show us like a clear like ladder up because yeah, I'd say last year kind of got hurt by that, but honestly, having Cody Rhodes in a King of the Ring tournament is like a visual death sentence to anyone who thinks that anyone else is going to win because it's obviously going to be Cody Rhodes. So if someone like freaking Oba Femi, I would love to see Oba Femi. And from the way that people have talked about it, it might not be a guaranteed title shot at SummerSlam, but a guaranteed title shot in general, which means that WWE can book it around anytime, literally anytime. They can have their match at Money in the Bank. But I would love to see it still happen at SummerSlam because I love SummerSlam. But that's just I love SummerSlam. I like the idea of the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments. I just love the concept of it now being more of it'll give you it's another thing to give you an opportunity at a world title at a premier event like SummerSlam. Same thing with Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania, and Money in the Bank literally at any time. But yeah, I'm very excited for King of the Ring. So far, we only really know one person who is 100% going to be in King of the Ring, and that is LA Knight. I really want him to win. But the harsh truth is, I don't even know. Even if he did win, I have a hard time feeling that. Like, I have a hard time believing that he would win. I would just say that. I have a hard belief that LA Knight is going to be a world champion, and it hurts that it hurts so much that the idea of him being a world champion is just not realistic right now. This just boggles my brain, bro. It boggles my brain. Um, but yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more on Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu's rivalry, and honestly, now that I've sat with it for a minute, after I watched, I did my predictions video. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you watch it because I went over all of the matches that are going to be happening, and Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu is one of them. And honestly, I kind of have different opinions from what I had yesterday, which is, I mean, people have different feelings about stuff any day. But I see this more as a possible, because like Roman kind of made it well known that he's going to be here until like the end of the summer. So, with that being said, with time kind of being set, set place, like this is how long Roman's going to be here. I want to be I would love to see Jacob Fatu win. I feel like there's more interesting storyline developments that would happen if Jacob Fatu beat Roman Reigns. But in the Roman side of things, it doesn't really make sense for him to have beaten CM Punk and then beat Jacob and then lose to him. But honestly, like, I feel this way about anyone. If you're someone who held say you're Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes, who had a long title reign, I don't think it matters at all how long the rest of your title reigns are. Like John Cena. I'm pretty sure John Cena, one of his first title reigns, was like over a year long, and he never had a title reign that was longer than like 5 or 6 months after that. So like ultimately, and yet I might be wrong, but like you know what I mean. Like you don't always have to have long title reigns, especially if you're someone who has already had a long title reign. So if Roman lost this up and coming Sunday, it wouldn't really be a bad thing because at the end of the day, Roman will always have about like what was it, 1,300 days as champion or 1,200. Like at the end of the day, who cares? And that's just one title reign, or technically, well, no, it was one. It was a universal title reign that people count. They don't really count what it was adding on to the WWE title because the WWE title. Anyways, but yeah, Baron Corbin might be coming back. That's another return that might be coming back. Now, I've heard people speculate, and with like the current like stuff that's going on SmackDown with Danhausen, I've heard a lot of people speculate that Baron Corbin is going to be the person revealed as like this Frankenhausen thing at some point. I don't know when exactly, but shoot. I would be really I see in general I'd be very happy to see Baron Corbin come back, but I don't know if I want to see him as a Frankenhausen. I don't know, man. But yeah, either way, I would love to see him come back because I loved Baron Corbin near the end of his time in WWE with the Braun Breaker as the what is it, Wolf Dogs, I think they were called. Um but yeah, it was really fun. They were really good, and there were times where he was getting cheers and other people were getting boos, which is a complete contrast, I guess, to his main roster time. Because honestly, I don't think anyone really cared for I want to say Roman Reigns cared about Baron Corbin that much, which sucks because I love Baron Corbin. I just really freaking hated his time span between 2018 and 2019. Don't get me started on it. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. Let's talk about Baron Corbin real quick for a sec. First, you had him as the general manager of Raw, which is fine in the, in concept. But my gosh, it was so boring. Oh my gosh, I hated it so much. Oh, which, I think it kind of soured me to the idea of Baron Corbin. And it also didn't help that, my favorite superstar at the time was Seth Rollins. And when he won the Universal title, guess who had the most, title matches against Seth? Who faced him so much? It was Baron Corbin. In Roman's hiatus from the world title scene near the end of 2019, who was there when he was, in need of a feud on SmackDown? Baron Corbin. They had a freaking person in a bulldog costume with a Roman Reigns shirt coming out to mock Roman Reigns. Bro, they had Roman and Baron Corbin eat dog food in that reign. That was stupid. And this, keep in mind, this was 6 months before, about 6 or 7 months before the tribal chief became a thing. So, to go from this, where I'm going to find the picture of Roman and the Usos with, Baron Corbin and the dog food. To go from that to the tribal chief, what a complete 180. Because, that was... I would love to talk about 2019 and 20, just some storylines and stuff that I remember from that time. I'd also love to do a retrospective because I love 2019, but the consensus around the world about it is that it was terrible. So I would love to do a retrospective to really see where do I have the love and where do people hate it. So if you are interested in that, please let me know because I'd love to do that. I might end up doing it anyways just because it's something I've been wanting to do. But anyways, I think this video is long enough. I've rambled long enough. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. I can't wait. Well, I can probably wait for SmackDown. I'm just kidding. No, SmackDown will be SmackDown, and I will be there to watch. And I hope you guys do too, because I'd love to talk about it with you guys. But with that being said, if you enjoyed the ramble sesh that is Wrestling with Beasts, then I highly recommend once again that you leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're new, because I'd love for you to join the family, because we love talking about wrestling and we love loving wrestling. And with that, yo diggity dogs, AJ Beast is out.